So back to Valentia Island. This time it's a year later, and it's the 12th of July because I'd been checking the weather and I was really keen to go with the longer days. I was going to do the drive down this time by myself because everyone was busy, and I just thought, right, I'll just go down for a little bit and a few days, but I know it's guaranteed good. So I thought I'd just change. I, rather than just going on a holiday and hope for the best, I was at this stage just looking at the weather. When I saw a window where I was free, I just went. So I had just done a massive drive down, and here we are back to where I had finished last time. This time driving onto the island and over to the very end, the island to Knightstown, Royal Valentia, yacht clubs here. There's Valentia Island there. So you can see this is this it's like the Ring of Kerry, really. And they were doing trips out to Skellig's Michael, which again I would have loved to have done, but I couldn't do because I'm on a mission. I'm trying to get my paddleboarding done another time. But you can see how lovely and warm it's actually the hottest day of the year. So here I am, the other end of Ireland. I literally drove 8 hours from Portrush down to, this is Valentia Island, where I finished off last time I was in Kerry. So I'm trying to do a bit more of Kerry this weekend. And it's the hottest day of the year to be sitting in the car for 8 hours. And it was also the 12th of July, so I tried to avoid all the bands when I was driving through Belfast. And then driving over the Boyne and everything like that, through Dublin and on down through Limerick and beyond to the very end. It feels like the end of Ireland. So yeah, looking forward to getting in the water and getting going. So it's pretty much the same. Here at Knightstown, literally the other end of Ireland. Today's the hottest day of the year. Yeah, pretty much the same. So here I am setting off, and look at that. It's flat and calm. And there's the lighthouse at one end. Paddling down there. Look at scenery. On the mainland and all around. A really nice day. So that was really good. So I did what was left of the Valentia Island strip, and then over onto the mainland I stopped here, Cahersiveen. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but there's a marina here, and I hopped in and I did some more. There's a big famous chapel over here. You can just about see it there. And again, really calm and flat. And then I made my way, inching my way around the peninsula. This is now Kelly's Bay Beach. Now I love this beach. I definitely was very happy to find this. This just looked like a great spot for swimming. It just was so calm and relaxed. And a lot of people really enjoying the sun and the beautiful water. And there was camping here. There always seems to be camping on these spots. A beautiful drive down in the car. And then I pulled up right at the beach, lifeguard hut here, heading out. And yeah, it's high tide. And everyone's like people fishing, swimming. Really nice vibe. Very lush and green mountains. Beautiful sunset this evening. Really enjoying the longer days and the warm weather. Be out of the water. Gorgeous spot here. Really lovely little harbour. Nice find. Use that, and I've got literally Dingles just straight across here on the other peninsula. So again, I could have cut if I had somebody give me a lift, I could have probably just cut across, but I was doing this by myself, so that was the only downside. I'm not missing any. I'm literally going the whole way round, rather than cutting any corners. So it's a lot slower, but it's look, hey, it's beautiful conditions and I'm safe. That's the main thing, really safe doing it. And I picked this time because it's the longest days of the year. You know, we're very lucky in Ireland that we have sun until like 10, 11 o'clock in the summer. So we've got beautiful hot weather and these gorgeous beaches. Again, I'm surprised that the roads weren't busier because it's summertime and it's really lovely weather. This is me driving on round towards where I'm staying tonight, and I'm making my way down. Like these roads were crazy, just making my way down. That you can see here. This is the Hinch Beach, and I'm just making my way down the side of this mountain, down onto these little beaches here, as I'm sort of curving my way round, and then I'm sort of staying in over here somewhere. So there's the sunset. Let's see. That's Dingle across the way, literally right over there. But I'm going right down to the bottom. And I've come down, pulling in here at Rossbeigh Beach, which was gorgeous. I have a different board with me because I'm thinking I'm going to see some surf. So I've got a board that's better in the surf than my long distance racing board. Because you can see there's some swell here. And it's getting towards sunset, so it's picking up a bit. There's that Rossbeigh Surf School. And then I went on round to Cromane Beach, which was also lovely. That's where I was staying in Sunhill, Calorglin. But this is up to this beach before I went to get some rest. And this was lovely as well. Just again, everybody out enjoying lovely calm night. So I think this is the next day, and I'm heading on round to Inch Beach and then up the Dingle Peninsula. So this was nice. It was early in the morning and there was hardly anybody around. And look how nice and calm and flat it was. So easy to get out. Um, yeah, and then I'm slowly making my way up here into, there's a couple of little stop-offs here before we get into Dingle. Actually, I think this is Dingle Harbour. Yeah, this is me talking about Dingle now. Dingle Bay, the harbour. So I'm heading on up the pier today to do a bit of exploring around. So forward to seeing what sort of animals are out in the water today. I heard yesterday that there's a lot of minke whales and dolphins. Anyway, I'm excited. It's a bit cloudier today, but it's still nice and warm. I was so close into the water to the shore, I didn't see anything. But there's actually a big aquarium and everything there too. So I was literally out hugging round the coastline. And then I went round to Bentry Pier, which is the next wee bit round. And this was really nice. Well, they had it looked like they had a regatta on, and they had these boats were all down. But again, you can go to Blasket Islands tours from here, which would be really nice. The Blasket Islands, so that's coming up. That's the next bit on round here, which is I'm excited about. I've heard a lot of people talk about Blasket Islands, and so these really old boats that they use for sailing currents. And that's, they had a regatta on that day, so I sort of nipped down and got out, hoping not to be in the way of the regatta. This is how it is out in the water. And really nice, lovely beaches. And then driving a bit further on, there's these beehive huts, and this is the view from the road as we're now coming up towards the Blasket Islands. Their boats must have been on doing tours up there. Birds of Slee Head area, so this is called Slee Head. It's an amazing drive as well, these roads. I'm just trying to find somewhere to get down here. Just stunning. And voila, I found a way down, but look, it's not the easiest way down, but it's a way down. There's a little harbour here. No, it's very touristy, so a lot of people have come here to have a look out at the Basque Islands. So Basque Islands are right out here behind me, and I was looking for a pier. It's way down there, so I'm not too sure exactly how I'm going to get down to that, but there's a pier, simply. Anyway, and it looks beautiful and calm. Now, I'm not going to go out and round all the islands on this trip by myself. I'm just going to hug around the coast, sort of join the dots of where I'd finished last time and work my way on round. And so this is me down at the harbour, at the pier, and heading out. Really lovely, crystal clear. Nobody else around. Maybe not too many people come down and use that pier. That's good. It's the road. That we've been driving along. These are the islands, a bit closer. Coastline, and that's me coming back in. There's another current here. And that's me coming back in and making my way up that massive, I don't know how many steps it was, but it was a lot. Back up to the top again. And then on round a bit further, Clocker Beach, which is I think that beach in that last picture. And here I am. Just around the corner there from the Blasket Islands. You can see them in the distance. And this was a lovely stop too, Clocker Beach. Paddleboarding around there. So you can see where I am now. I'm just slowly, I'd gone across here, slowly make my way up here, in round here, on round here, in here. I'm slowly making my way round. What's that? People swimming. Just breathtaking scenery. And it's a shame it's so far. Honestly, you would definitely go down to Kerry more often, and the same for Kerry. They would go up to the north coast if it wasn't such a long drive. And if you lived in America and you're used to these big long drives, but when you live in Ireland, you're used to very short drives. So, so like driving down to Kerry just seems like the other end of the world. Here is another pier, Duneen Pier. I found this one, although it's not used very often. It actually says here this pier area is extremely dangerous in periods of high tide and winds. Do not enter. And I could see that, like I could feel that, like was a bit of a wave coming in here, and I could just imagine if it was a big swell, that would be really tricky getting in and out of here. So it's not really used, but again. Beautiful clear water. It was handy enough for me, and I'd picked flat, calm conditions. And then I've driven on to this. Oh yeah, some of the wee roads. Look at that road. I mean, I filmed it too because just the hedgerows, you can't really see it, but it doesn't really justify. But the colours of all the wildflowers and everything in the sides of the roads at this time of the year, we've got every colour. And but yes, the roads are really narrow. You don't want to see somebody coming the other way. So and yeah, more cliffs driving down around the other side. So with the peninsulas, there's a lot of driving to get around them and back in. So you're literally driving all the way out and then all the way back in and all. So there's another pier, Branton Pier. Remember that was a tricky one to get parked down there. And then on round Kappa Beach. This was really lovely again. Gorgeous beach with really nobody on it. I think the rain started when I was out there, but the water actually, I just felt that like the water seemed warmer than the north coast as well. Definitely more inviting. Might be a squall coming in. And then on round to Castle Gregory. And actually, I went for a swim when I got into Castle Gregory because there's so many people getting in. And I just noticed every time I was wading in and out, I was like, the water just feels so nice and warm. And so I did. I finished with a swim at the end of that day in here before driving back to where I was staying. And I got a lovely full rainbow. And then actually the next morning, I think the conditions were changing, or it was time for me to drive back. And I did a bit of socializing and stopped to see my wonderful friend Maria Scanlon, who I knew from my New York days, and she's back in Kerry as well. So she lives in Listowel. So I stopped here and we went for coffee. I couldn't stay very long, unfortunately, because I had to head back. But some of those pictures from the trip, the different spots where I started. So that was week 2 of Kerry. So I had made some progress. This is not a very big distance really, but where you could have probably just cut across here, you could just cut across, do the tips. I've literally been going down and round and in and up and in, round. So it's been slow, very slow. And some really rubbish weather too, which hasn't helped slow down some of it. But anyway, making some progress. That was the end of week 2, Kerry.